Alright, so I gave base Ban or Brawler Ban his Holy Relic, and I wanted to give it a try on the bird with two teams actually. So for this video, I'm trying with the regular Melly Miguel the Matrona team, but actually there's a super tanky version of a Ban team with I don't remember, it's King, Valenti, and someone. I'm gonna have to go back. I know someone has made a video on it. I don't know if they beat stage 3 with it though. Um, but you can have a team where if you have a king and you have this bond, you can have bond's passive lower the bird's attack by 75% and just be like super tanky. But I don't know if someone has beaten stage 3 with it. Only like stage 1 and 2. But yeah, so with this, I was hoping like he would basically be a replacement to Ascanor because I've been farming a little bit, the bird, and I usually use this team with the one, and of course it works like a charm, right? It's my favorite team to run. So I was hoping Ban would just be basically a replacement for the one, and because he has the 25% damage increase, that he wouldn't be like that much worse. Obviously, his ultimate is not nearly as good. He does have a good multiplier, but obviously the one's ultimate is infinitely better. But Ban, a 25% damage increase was not enough. That's for sure. It just simply wasn't enough. It's a deep flaw with old characters not being buffed. Like I said this on the Bond PP video that I think they should buff old units. Like, that's what holy relics are. They're buffing old units. Is it? I'm saying like actually buff old characters. Like if you give them some extra base stats and like a shitty ability, it's not a buff. They should go back on old characters and make an activity that you have to beat, and then you get rewarded with being able to like upgrade like a character, just like Dokkan does. It would be so good if I could take this Bond and upgrade them to have like a better passive and better stats overall, just base stats and like base and like the the whole like stat really is like stuff like crit chance, because he has 200% crit damage for no reason. Crit chance, have like more crit resistance, stuff like that. Just have more updated stats. Like if this character had this holy relic, right, extra 25% damage, and he got his stats upgraded to like be comparable to like a more recent character, it wouldn't be that bad. He actually wouldn't be that bad. But obviously, even if the damage increase, it's just simply not very good. And Blue Brawler Bond is the best of the Brawler Bonds. I think they could still one day release a red Brawler Bond, but it doesn't matter. It would be similar to like, they released Blue Hauser, right? Somewhat recently. And it really showed how old characters just barely can compete with new characters. Like the only old character that's like actually still somehow holding up, but almost dropping from meta is like Green Galfer, right? Green Halloween Galfer is the only old character, and I mean like, old stats character, because base Galfer released with the game basically, right? So he has old stats, but he had good stats. Like that's the thing, right? Base Galfer already like released with good stats. He's like Halloween Galfer is the only old character that still competes with new characters. And even still, he is actually being dished out of the meta. Like, the real meta teams are not using Green Gopher anymore. So, old characters are just struggling to compete, man. So I want to see if the Bond ultimate would actually damage him, because Bond's ultimate has a high multiplier. But it has no effect, right? It just takes off ultimate gauge. And I believe it does actually hit almost damage cap. Oh no, it was only 65k, okay. I thought he almost did damage cap. Nah, only 65k. The multiplier is high though. That's why it actually, of course, obviously the damage. Very high multiplier, just no effect. I mean, it has an effect. It takes off ultimate gauge, but I mean like no like damaging effect. No like ignore defense or something that would actually help you do actual damage on phase 4 here. Just, I don't know. Hopefully one day they'll wake up and realize, oh, if we buff old characters, people would be happy with that. And listen, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I think that having a happy player base results in people spending more money, right? Because you can see with the gradual progression of this game, the game has been making less and less money over time because people are just not happy with their decisions. Uh, Even though they're monetizing the game more and more, they're making less and less money. There's a reason for that. It's because people are just not happy with the updates. If they made people happy, I think people would be more willing to spend money. I don't know, just a thought, you know? And I think he can start with giving old characters buffs because, I mean, listen, if you woke up and then you saw in the patch notes that they're buffing like these characters that just been sitting in your box 6/6 that you never use, obviously you'd be happy about that. You know what I mean? Like, if you woke up and it said like, oh, okay, Demon Meliodas is getting a stat buff, and you know each Demon Meliodas had his passive reworked to become better. Like, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. Imagine being able to actually use like green DMLE and red DMLE again. That would be actually so cool. And obviously blue DMLE as well. Just blue DMLE. I mean, I guess you could still use blue DMLE, just not as good as current Pierce characters. Not nearly as good as Rugal, not as good as obviously the new Meliodas that's has a Pierce card, you know. But that would be so cool. Imagine like I could actually use red Demon Melee unironically. How cool that would be. But unfortunately that's not gonna happen. At least not, I mean, at least I don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe one day they will wake up and realize, oh, we should do that. We should buff old characters. And then this bond, right? This bond, which right now has a decent Holy Relic effect, right? Not, I wouldn't say it's the best Holy Relic effect, but it has a decent Holy Relic effect. Would actually have a great Holy Relic effect. Because how it is, right? You know, he's terrible. He's an awful, terrible unit. With the Holy Relic, he becomes bad. So in the scale meter, right? He is worse than bad. And then with the Holy Relic, he becomes bad. But if you brought him up to being decent, and the Holy Relic made him good, then that'll be pretty epic. I don't know. I think that'll be pretty epic. I was just checking the lowering on the bird, because I haven't been taking, or Bon hasn't been taking any damage for a few turns, so I was actually attack lowering him. But not that it matters because you know, it resets when Bon takes damage, and if you're not using King, so that's why I'm gonna use the King team as well with Bon. See if I can beat stage 3. If I'm not very sure, but if you have the King team and you're putting up the King's shield, like, he doesn't do damage to you, right? So he just keep attack lowering him. And the reason why I'm unsure if someone has beat stage 3 is because that team I just mentioned has such low DPS that you end up probably just not even being able to actually kill the stage, you know what I mean? Like, the DPS is so damn low that you just end up getting fully sealed by phase 3 on the 3rd floor. Because I actually looked up, because the only person I could think of that would actually do that would be Andy, because he's actually a PvE god. But he hasn't done it, or at least I didn't see it on his channel. So it was like, if he hasn't done it, I don't know who would have who would have done it. But even if I can't beat stage 3 with that team, I'll give it a try. Maybe I can beat stage 2 at least. But yeah, I mean, these Holy Relics, you know, that are made with decent effects, but not good enough to make a bad character useful, I find them to be so unfortunate, because you read it on paper and it's like, oh man, if X character had this Holy Relic instead of this character, it would be so cool. Imagine if the one had this Holy Relic instead of the shitty Holy Relic he got. You know what I mean? Imagine if the one had a Holy Relic that increased his damage by 25% over this bond. Imagine how much better that would be than the shitty Holy Relic the one got. I don't know. I think they should also like go back and rework some of these Holy Relics, man, because the one's Holy Relic sucks. And freaking, what's it called? Green Galfer, I mean just base Galfer. Base Galfer's Holy Relic sucks. Some of these Holy Relics just... I find very unfortunate that they went, oh okay, these characters are very relevant right now, so we shouldn't give them really good Holy Relics, because, you know, eventually the one's going to become irrelevant, and base Galfer will become irrelevant. Not right now, of course, they're far from irrelevant right now, but eventually they will be, and then maybe the Holy Relics would have been great to actually save them, but nah, they already are tainted with having a bad Holy Relic. Okay, here, so I've been using Megalda a lot, like a lot. And I absolutely despise when I get this bird passive that he debuffs you every turn by attacking defense, because it means that I can't cleanse the debuff that he puts on me to seal my level 2 cards. So annoying. Because if you don't know, Megalda's Holy Relic, one of the good Holy Relics, cleanses 1 debuff from every ally. So when I have the debuff that he applies on me that I can't use level 2 and 3 cards, and then I get this debuff, the one that actually ends up being cleansed is the most recent debuff, which is the attack and defense debuff. So I never can actually cleanse the debuff that I actually want to cleanse, you know? It is what it is. I mean, I have been, you know, passively farming the bird, just doing it while I'm like watching something. I'm probably just gonna like I need to catch up on Demon Slayer. Probably just gonna be like farming the bird while I watch Demon Slayer. Get maybe like a Holy Relic out of it, because I haven't watched a single episode of Season 3 yet. I can make 1 Holy Relic right now. I'm only 3 off of being actually completely done with the bird Holy Relics. I only need Awaken the Easton, or whatever her name is. Is it Goddess Easton? I forgot the name of that Easton. You know, Awaken the Easton. I need Base Valenti, which probably is going to be the next one. And Nunchuk Ban. Nunchuk Ban might be the worst Holy Relic in the game. It's tied to being either Nunchuk Ban or Base Lilia for the worst Holy Relics in the game. Because not only the characters are not very good. I mean, Base Easton. I'm sorry, not Easton. Lilia. Base Lilia. I can have fun, you know, using the Pierce team, obviously, but she's not obviously good. And the Holy Relic is just so damn horrendously terrible. If you don't know, for whatever reason, what those Holy Relics do. So for base Lilia, right? For base Lilia, I'm actually pulling up so I don't get incorrectly. The Holy Relic effect is the hero recovers 15% of diminished HP when a debuff is removed from the hero. But here's the thing, she already has a healing card, right? Meaning that if you're cleansed with your healing card, you're probably already gonna full heal anyways. So bad. And it doesn't help your allies, right? It's only like a selfish thing, and she's a support character. You shouldn't have a selfish passive. And then for Nunchuk Ban, they have the audacity to give him a passive, a Holy Relic that if, you know, Brawler Ban, or sorry, Nunchuk Ban crits an enemy, he increases his attack by 10%, limit to 5 times. That unit has base 30% crit chance. It's so bad. So he's never gonna crit. And even if he does crit, he needs to crit 5 times. 5 times to achieve 50%. While freaking Lilia, Awakened Lilia, gets a Holy Relic that gives her 50% basic stats by existing, basically. It's like, yeah, you get per debuff on enemy, which is super easy to manipulate, you know? So weird. It's not even like he's even like increasing attack related stats, so like every time you crit, you increase your crit chance, so it becomes easier to crit next time. No, it's just attack. So not looking forward to those, or to that one. Probably gonna be my last Holy Relic, but here I use his ultimate. I was like, oh, his ultimate might do damage cap, but it didn't, so. I almost died because of that, because I actually expected Bond to do damage cap. So I do damage cap with Bond, damage cap with Mally, damage cap with Mally. He revives because he got the revive passive, right? he revives up to 50%, and then I do damage cap again with melee, so that I can actually, you know, get him like pretty low on his second health bar. But he didn't do damage cap, and I mean, he could have actually done it if I had more stacks for like Megalda on him. But you know, it's not like, sometimes I can't control that. You know, sometimes I can't, especially when I got that passive where he lowers my attack and defense. Because a lot of times I want to use the actual healing card to cleanse, so I don't spam it as much. But yeah, that was Brawler Ban. Not worth the relic, not worth using. But hey, here it is. Yeah.